What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the next video on learning MySQL. My name is QDS Danny and you guys watching my channel Coriowood. Alright, so in the previous video we have used the command line. We have created our database, we have shown our database, all the database, we have done some search, pattern matching with the database, and we have dropped and we have cancelled our database. But so far we are using this guy is here, PHP MyAdmin, and we can see we are using this one. This is also MySQL, but we haven't used this one, so MySQL Workbench. So from now on we're gonna start using this one. I'm gonna introduce the layout. So if you guys see here, local instance or whatever connection you have created, you just click this ones and we're gonna go in the interface inside the MySQL Workbench. Alright, so first thing first, and what you guys see here is your output. Being a programmer, you guys should be aware with IDEs and should be very familiar with the programming interfaces, our environments here. The bottom ones, whatever we're going to type here at our query, this query is going to be exactly the same as here. So when you guys come here and put a SQL query, it's going to be exactly the same. And when you guys going to see the output, sometimes if you use a console, that console, this one's the console is going to be exactly like the our console here that we have used, our command prompt. So you guys can issue commands from here because that's outside of MySQL, and you guys can issue commands from here because it select everything from column, whatever columns you guys creating. So you can use this one, or you can use your write your query here. So if you look in here, they have a database SQL status user account. We have shown you how to use a user account so far, and we have shown how to use the databases here and how to select the databases here. We can do exactly the same. This query, the guy is here, the query, that's exactly the same as this guy is here. So but there's different two different interfaces. This one is with the PHP MyAdmin, that's a MySQL using the port 3306, but this is actually MySQL Workbench. So this is not a PHP MyAdmin, but still MyAdmin, that's still MySQL, and it's still using port 3306. That's whatever you guys going to see here, all our databases, is that what you see here. Say the first one is CorioDB and the last one test2, and you're looking here, it's CorioDB and it's test2. So now we're gonna show you this guys here, and if you look in here, all your database is sitting here. That's going to be exactly like this one. This all your database is sitting here. That's same layout, and there are some menus here, but this guys here, there are some menus here as well. So that's a scripting tools, help, and if you look in here, that's going to be more. And this is a little bit scary for PHP MyAdmin, especially if you guys haven't seen this one. So keep in mind that first one is here is refresh. This is for your setting, and that's for your help. This is for getting out, that's for home. So if you guys don't know where the home is, just press this one and you guys gonna come to the home. So you can see all the your databases on the left, like it's like a bird eye view. And exactly the same ones here, but this one's here on top. And the first one is file, second because the file ones here, it has a new model, open model, whatever you have a model, SQL script, whatever, if you have a script from outside, if you open run your script. So for example, if you are going to GitHub or something and download a script, you guys going to bring it here and you run your script, and you're going to have straight away the databases. And we're going to discuss this one in the future videos. This one is edit, that's edit is undo, redo, and we have a cut, copy, paste, select all, and that's a fine format. You guys should be very familiar with edit because that's very common everywhere. And that's if you want to go to home, or if you got to go to hide the sidebar, hide the secondary sidebar. What sidebar? This one's a secondary, that's a sidebar. This ones are sidebar and this ones are secondary sidebar. So output area, and then when you go to query, the most important one, execute, whatever execute to query you have, you can execute it here, execute it all, selected our text, execute current statements. If you wanna, you can do with the Control Shift Explorer, Control Shift Enter. This one's Control Enter, Enter, Control Alt X. So that's what we're gonna take this one. Say we want the auto commit transactions and collect performance schema status. That's gonna be our discussion is gonna be for the future video. Limit rows, how many rows you want, limit to 1000 rows. So whatever rows you guys are gonna make in your table, if you're gonna see 1000, you're not gonna see more than 1000. If you look in here, you can do it from here as well. If you want a row, say for example 10 rows, you can do it here. 10 rows if you want 200, but the default one is 1000. 1000 is a lot of rows inside the database. It means you're going to see the rows all the way, and you're going to see your scroll bar. You're going to come down and you're going to see the 1000 rows. It means if you have that many databases, that many, but I don't think in this videos, in this tutorials, we're going to use 1000 rows. Our rows is going to be mainly maybe till 20 rows, but that's the most you can see with the rows. But if you have actual database and actual live website, you're going to have a 1000 rows. Maybe just if you have a lot of users, the users might populate your database like 1000 maybe in just one day or half a day. So say for example, if you have an e-commerce, especially if you have a classified like eBay or Gumtree, or if you have say a medium website for e-commerce or social, whatever you have, you're gonna have a 1000 just maybe in 1 week. So 1000 rows is not a very big deal, but in our videos, because we're just learning, 1000 rows is the maximum I can show you, but you can hear 1000 rows here. And the database is gonna be, say we have done query the database, connect to the database, we have done so. Manage connections, we have done so. We have show you how to connect to your database, how to manage. If you want to connect to another database, you can do so. Say for example, if you have another MongoDB or another database, you can choose, but that's you can do so, but that's at one very advanced topics, and that's going to be our discussion for the future videos. Here you can see the server status, or you can see the data exports, and you can see the server logs. And this is going to be the tool for configuration. If you want to do the setting, backup configuration, restore configuration, and restore connections. And you're going to see that utilities and what's inside the utilities. Copy a PHP code, connect to server, and copy as a PHP code. You can copy the PHP code. That's your scripting shell, and the scripting shell is going to be similar like this guy is here, the command prompt. So whatever you guys going to see here, that's a command prompt. And in the future videos, that is going to be like in the future videos, we're going to discuss the shell. Say if you come here and put a scripting shell, that's a scripting shell. That's going to be exactly like our command prompt here, because we're going to see our scripting shell as well in the future videos. But now because you open this one, you're going to see here we can write whatever command here, but that's going to be for the future videos. And I'm going to close this one because at the moment we want to learn how to run code here in our query. So we're going to do query in this video, and the next video we're going to create our databases here, because through the GUI we have learned how to do create the databases through the command prompt. This guy is here. Now we're going to see how we're going to create our database through the query inside the MySQL Workbench, because as you guys going ahead with this one, you guys going to learning the MySQL query as well as the command prompt, how we're going to use code in the command prompt as well as the query here. So you guys going to get yourself familiarized with this one. So from now on we're going to use this ones. If you look on top, there is some tabs here. You can this is for beautify and reformat the SQL script, and that's going to be for the future videos. Then we're going to discuss slowly one by one, and this guy is going to be for save. All right, so now how we're going to create our database, just like our command prompt. We have done our command prompt. Our we can do here in our phpMyAdmin. So we can create our database here if you have phpMyAdmin. If you don't have, don't worry. So the main ones, because we are learning MySQL Workbench. So how we going to do this? So if you put a create database, and what we're going to call our database, I'm going to make it uppercase. I'm going to put a database, And what we're gonna create our database, whatever you guys gonna put an example or sample, whatever we're gonna do, we can put an example, for example, and that's gonna be our database. If you want to run, if you look in here, the first one is going to be current execute, control enter. We can do control enter here. So if you do press control and enter, and it's going to be done. So here, if you look here at output, it says the 1025 create database example, one rows affected, and whatever we have seen here in our command prompt, that's going to be exactly the same message. So here, if you look in here, there is a small refresh button. When you, if you don't see your database, if you execute your query here, then there is a small refresh button. When you press the small refresh button, you're going to see your example. And as I said, this one's connected to this guy's here. If you come here, there is a small refresh button, and if you do that, you're going to see that the database example has been created. So that's how you're going to create our database. And if you press enter, we can execute another one. Then we can, the second one that we have learned was use example. So we have used the example, and we put our semicolon and control enter, and you're going to see that the second one is used, because now this one's opened. How cool is this? Because now we are actually, this was like just a clicking on this one, but we are doing through the command line here. Alright, so we're going to come down, and then the next one that we have learned was show databases. So we put a show, we put a databases, so databases. So that was show databases, and we put a control enter, and we're going to see all the databases here. So that's all the databases open here, and it says that read only, because you only can see this one. You cannot manipulate this one here, because MySQL Workbench not going to let you here. You should do it from here, where it says the navigator. This guy is here, but you cannot do you cannot do here, because the reason we have seen in our command prompt differently than you guys going to see here, because this is a GUI, graphical user interface of the MySQL. So you guys are going to see it differently, and there is a cross sign here. Once you press, and it's going to disappear. The reason was that I have shown you here show databases. So, and as I said that you can use the lowercase and uppercase. That's going to be, MySQL is going to be quite okay with that one. MySQL says all right, if you put all lowercase, that should be fine. But the reason we put in uppercase is to let you guys know that this is a statement of the MySQL. So create database and use means select, whatever, because the reason we can't put a select database, because we can use select is another statement for tables and rows. That's how we're going to use select from the table, select column from the table. That's what we can use a select. So we put a use. So show database is going to show, we're going to see all the databases, but we're going to see in the workbench. And if you don't see this one, schemas navigator, look at here, there is a schema. If you see this one, management, whatever you guys are going to see here, that's going to look at here, there is size schema. So when you put a schema, you're going to see all your database. Schema is another words for databases. So when you see schema, it's going to be, means it's going to be your databases. You guys don't see here, but when you see schema, it means that this schema means database. Alright, so the next one we're going to see is the show databases. So we put a show is that SHO databases, like, and that's for example, if you want to search for the database pattern matching, we're going to see we're going to see like just like F our S. See, because we have 3 S, we can see our like S, and we put a S, we put an ampersand here, and we can execute that as well. So control enter, and we're going to see all this, our database coming for a S, starts with a S. We can see that's our that is called pattern matching. Like is like a searching, it's like a search engine. And if you look in here, all whatever we are doing is showing up here, because whatever the time 10:25 as recording of this video, we have created create database, and we have used using the database, or whatever database we have created the example, show database and show database like. You can put a show database like COR that we've done in the previous video, S, whatever your name, your mate's name, your friend's name, whatever, you can put it here. And the last but not least, we're going to see how we're going to get rid of the database, and that's going to be the mighty drop. When you drop the database, it means that's it. Drop this one. I don't want to you see this example again, so we're going to go on drop, and we're going to see the database. And what's our database that we're gonna get rid of? That's gonna be the example database. So the create database is, we're gonna create database. Use databases means we're gonna click on this one, show databases, because we're gonna see all the databases here. Show database like, and we're gonna see just a specific database, whatever starts with S. And we're gonna see the drop databases. Then we're gonna drop this database example, and you're gonna see here action output, 1 rows affected, 0 rows affected, 12 rows returned, and 3 rows returned, because we are using S, and that S is gonna be 3. Say for example salon, social, and cis, because that's going to be the 3 rows returned, because they return the data. This is the internal of the MySQL. So MySQL, whatever executes for you, it's going to output here. So what happened around this time? It's very good for debugging purposes. If you guys are going something wrong and you're looking at your records, so what was the output at what time you guys create what. So that was the output. So now the last one is that when you guys gonna put it here, if you put a control enter, you're not gonna see this database again. So when we do control enter, it's dropped, it's gone. So you're not gonna see the example. We're gonna see, we still can see example. If you're gonna see this one, put a refresh and it's gone. Keep in mind, if you don't have a phpMyAdmin, that's quite fine, because we're just showing you just in case if you want to learn about this as well. So the way every videos that we are making, we are trying to show this one as well. So you guys learning phpMyAdmin, as well as MySQL Workbench, as well as the command prompt. Being a successful and very popular MySQL programmer is for you guys, is for your ability to work with the MySQL Workbench, as well as phpMyAdmin, as well as command line. Whether it's command line inside the Windows, our command line inside the Apple Mac OS, our command line inside the Linux, because being a Linux operator is all about command line. So how effectively you guys using the command line is that that counts for if you're going for a job, or if you're going for a successful career, you guys should use in IT is your ability to use the command line effectively. So because this is a GUI, this sometimes you guys gonna be in intense workplace environment, and then you guys needs to do quickly execute your statements without looking for the GUI. So in the platform, this one's gonna find for you the exact very convenient. This command line gonna be very convenient for you guys, because it helps you guys a lot. Once you guys learn all the MySQL statements, then you guys are gonna be working less and less with this MySQL Workbench, because you guys can do whatever you guys can do it here, whatever you guys can do in this visualization, in this graphical user interface or GUI, you can do it here as well inside the command prompt. But command prompt gives you guys express. It's going to be very quick. Instead of coming and clicking something, you guys just issue show me the database, create the database XYZ, show me the database XYZ, and I want to see the database. Show all the databases. You can see show all the databases, like which database are you want to look, just in case if you have like a 500 or 600 database. Show me all the databases starts with name, for example, or starts with COR, or XYZ, or ABC, or JKL, whatever is database you want to see. You can search through there. Okay, so that's how the first one's. With this one's very basic. Normally everywhere you go in the learn MySQL, they show you the three databases. The first one is going to create, use and drop, but because I have including these ones as well, is for you guys to learn a lot about the MySQL. As we are progressing, you guys going to be learning a lot slowly, and then slowly you guys going to absorb all these new commands that you're learning. So keep in mind, this is just very few, and then as we progress, we're going to learning a lot and a lot. This is just a database, and we're going to then next video we're going to learn about the tables, how we're going to create our tables through command line, how we're going to create our tables through query, and how we're going to create our tables through here, through MySQL, through here, through this guys. So in the next video we're going to see how we're going to create our tables through the GUI, not just like issuing commands. We're going to do exactly the same ones here, but we're going to do it through the query, through the GUI, graphical user interface. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe Koreawood. If you guys have any question or comment, leave in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.